that people don't even watch long enough to get to this ad. You know what I mean? So like, you turn off, what's this one? Move this ad slot for better, nah, fuck you. We're just gonna leave it right where it is. If people don't watch, they don't watch. You know what I mean? Fuck it. You know, I'm not gonna like, and then like you'll get notifications over here from like, if you go to dashboard, it'll, oh cool, it's not telling me now, but it'll tell me like your video could get more ads, or you can increase your revenue earning by 42% if you add auto ads or whatever. And it's like, fuck off. But anyway, that's just a little behind the scenes shit.
No, we don't know what this.
How many trans Antifa?
It is very likely to be a trans Antifa Marxist shooter.
That is just not
that
true.
Is, that it,
we don't know. We don't know what this.
How many trans Antifa? What?
This kid is.
We do know this kid was of the left. We do know that.
We do know what?
That this kid was of the political left. That is according.
We don't know that yet, you absolute fucking dipshit. We don't know what the facts are. Right now we know what conjecture is. Come on, Ben. You're smarter than this, man.
Contemporaneous reporting from The Guardian as well as Tablet Magazine today.
It's 2 days out. We don't know shit, Ben.
But
we don't know shit. They never do. The internet is undefeated in getting it wrong to begin with.
It's not about the internet. That's about the actual.
Yes, but it's based off of reporting from people from the town that are friends of the person, and they've already had to retract stories, Ben. You're doing the same thing you complained about during COVID. You're putting out information before the facts are on the table. Where is your fucking moral backbone? What's happening, man? How can these people just roll over and then fucking do all of the things they complained about during the last fucking election? It's like they have no fucking morals. It's like everything they say they don't fucking believe. I have been against the radical left and the radical right for fucking 20 years, man. I was always against COVID since day one. Well, everyone was against COVID. It depends on what you mean. Or you mean against the vaccines? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. At some point, you have to tell your audience what you truly believe. You cannot just stand on some bullshit like this. Ben Shapiro is supposed to be one of the good ones, you know. Usually one of the more moderate talkers. When, like, Trump led an insurrection against the Capitol building, he called it out the next day.
Reporting by mainstream, except The Guardian is not a right-wing.
Here's what we heard. Here's what I was told so far, and I'll tell you what was wrong. First, I heard he's a registered Republican. Not true. Okay. Then he was a donor to Trump. Not true. His father works in the sheriff's office. Not true. There was a picture of him wearing a pro-Trump shirt. Not true. Member of the Democratic Socialists of America. Not true. We don't know what he is.
Well,
how are you so sure he's of the left? Now, I agree when you write on a bullet, what did he write on the bullet? Catch this
fascist, which is also a gamer thing.
Okay, but now I'm hearing he may have been part of that group for whom Charlie Kirk was not right-wing enough.
You mean the Groypers?
Yes! Oh, it's so true. There's reporting that's stating this too. Now, we don't know, right? We don't know. And to say that he is without evidence to suggest otherwise, I was always against COVID. I wrote a letter. Hey, Clara!
Yes, I mean, so that would...
But you're sure he's...
Ooh, this is a rough one for Ben, because Ben also fucking hates Groypers, and Groypers fucking hate Ben Shapiro, because he's Jewish and Israeli. Or not, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I just pulled a racism. He's not Israeli, but he's Jewish and he supports Israel, is what I meant to say. I'm sorry, Ben, my brave American.
Not that.
But I still think hed rather pin it on the left than Groyper people.
I'm not sure that he's not that.
A minute ago you were sure what he was.
Hold on.
1 minute he's sure that it's on the left, and then there's other reporting saying that he's on the far right. And of course, hi! Then he says some dumb shit like, well, I'm not sure about that one, but you're sure about the other when it's the exact same level of reporting? Fuck you. Come on, man. How is Ben Shapiro taking such an optic L right now when he's the fuck your feelings guy? I care about facts. What a fucking hack.
For people.
I'm not sure that he's not
Oh,
that.
a minute ago you were sure what
no,
he was.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. Okay, because I've been...
You were.
True. The article claiming Tyler Robinson was a leftist was retracted.
Oh,
This
cool.
is, and again, it's hard because even a lot of you guys aren't part of this like internet culture stuff. When people say certain things, they assume certain things, but it might not be the case at all. So like even reading the quotes from this, I was like, okay, we'll wait for more to come out. But like this person saying, in a phone interview on Friday, someone who said they were friends, apparently this has been retracted, but someone who said they were friends with Robinson in high school who wanted to remain anonymous said that the suspect was pretty left on everything and was the only member of his family that was really leftist. The rest of his family was very hard Republican, the friend said. When people say statements like this, you need more information about it because depending on the communities you're in, there are things that you can say where,
We are living in a post-truth age. You know, look, I know a lot of people don't like it when I talk about video games. My source, I saw it in my dream. Hi, Clara, I was collecting my stuff to get some work done at BFK, but I love you, pretty lady. Hell yeah. I stand by that. Clara is a beautiful lady, and we should let her know as often as possible. And she's a kind soul as well. She puts up with my rants and my bullshit, despite our differences. Sup, bro? What's going on, Ricardo? I do like the 420, just saying. I got some of these, I got some cactus juice, oh, dude, triple layered fucking resin infused fucking keef crusted fucking joint. Trust me, bro. Exactly, dude. The trust me, bro people. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. I got too happy.
Someone who said they were friends, apparently this has been retracted, but someone who said they were friends with Robinson in high school who wanted to remain anonymous said that the suspect was pretty left on everything and was the only member of his family that was really leftist. The rest of his family was very hard Republican, the friend said. When people say statements like this, you need more information about it because depending on the communities you're in, there are things that you can say where it comes off as leftist, depending on the community, but it's not at all. So, for instance,
we do have a lot more sames. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Hell, I'd even say our differences are still pretty much sames up until, like, you get deep enough into the weeds. You know what I mean? Or our motivation for those differences are probably slightly different. You know what I mean? We do have a lot more sames. Honestly, dude, you know, I used to think I was pretty extreme in a lot of areas, but then I meet some extreme people and I'm like, oh, kind of like a timid bitch.
If his parents were like neocons, like traditional conservative types, especially if they weren't bought into the Trump stuff, and then this kid was growing up on like the populist right, he would be, for instance, like incredibly anti-hawkish, anti-foreign intervention, which to some people can come off in the older world as like a dovish, like Democrat view. Not saying that's necessarily what happened. I don't know why I hedge like this all the time. Retards that don't want to hear me speak don't want to hear it anyway. But like, it would have been interesting for this to state more what were like actual concrete political beliefs or what.
Yeah, they should ground out things in examples. Listening seems to be a lost art. Holy fuck, is that true? Like, cause right now, if you were to take a look at the political spectrum, I have a hard time differentiating people on the far left and the far right. It's really hard for me. Now, the only thing that I can usually I can use to like point out where they are is where their attack vector is. If someone is attacking big business, well, odds are they're going to be on the left, the far left, like in these circles. And if someone is attacking the government, odds are they're going to be on the far right. Uh-oh, I'm slipping into the squirrel mode of my magic gummies. Get it, girl, get it. But they still believe a lot of the same things. Like if you were to take the furthest left person in the political spectrum, especially in our media, they would defend fascist policies. They would defend locking up liberals as much as the far right would. Like they defend the same talking points. They both believe that the ADL or whatever the fucking Jewish organization is controls our entire media. They believe that they control our politicians. They believe they control every aspect of our lives. They believe that they control every think tank and it's like, okay, I can't tell the neo-Nazis from the Marxist-Leninists anymore. I can't do it, other than what the center point of what they're talking about is. One is government, the other one is, big business or the donor class. Like, they just say the same shit, but like have a different vector of attack. APAC, that's the one. The ADL is the fucking the thing in Germany, isn't it? That kind of feels like a lot of people are saying it might be neo-Nazi or Nazi, whatever. APAC, that's the one. Yep. Dude, the fucking Nick Fuentes and the Gropers and the Sam Hyde and the people that are against immigration in this country, they think APAC runs the government. They think Candace Owen thinks that APAC runs the government, okay? These people are disgusting. And then you get people like Hassan, and then you get people on this far left bullshit. They think that APAC runs our government. They think that every decision that's made is a benefit to Israel, regardless of any other fucking information. Nothing else can come out to suggest otherwise. These people believe the same thing. They just come at it from a different perspective. Tesla 0 to 1939 and 3 facts. Like, I swear to God, we're in a dangerous spot now where people that are moderates, people that are classic libertarians or classic liberals, those that are like never Trump or Republicans and your everyday liberal, are at war with the unhinged fucks on both sides. But the problem is only one side of the political spectrum is willing to call out the radicals on their side. When Sam Hyde comes out with a video saying, "Dear Vivek Ramaswamy, get your fucking Indian ass out of my country," no one gave a fuck. In fact, ultimately, Vivek stepped down from his role at Doge so that Elon Musk could be there. And then in 5 to fucking 2-3 weeks, Sam Hyde made a video talking shit about Elon Musk. And then you get dipshit normies like Asmongold that are so fucking stupid, they don't know how to fucking tell a fact from fiction, just like Hassan's dipshit ass that can't tell when a JDAM falls, whether or not it's from a fucking video game, and he's using it as justification to say that we need to kill Israelis. Fuck, man. And then you get Asmongold coming out laughing about a boat being destroyed with illegal immigrants on it, saying they deserve to die, while still pearl clutching over Destiny's jokes about something that happened in Texas. Sam Hyde is a parody? No, he's not. Sam Hyde believes the bullshit that he's saying. And even if he is a parody, the parody he's putting into the world is dangerous. This is the same defense that people like P.F. Young will say, well, Sam Hyde doesn't really believe the shit he's saying, but, he's still putting out vicious things into the world that is spreading anti-Semitism on a massive scale. It does not matter if you hate what's happening in Israel, Palestine. Saying that Jews are all bad is racism. Asman folded fast when he had his rant about being a superior culture. Yeah, that's because he got banned. But then after that, he became the largest political streamer in the world, and now he just says more unhinged shit ever. I have a video reacting to Asmongold literally calling for violence in this country, calling the left valid military targets. ADL, yes, it hurts more when it happens at home. Yeah, dude, it's... Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. Ah!
Why would you assume this or think this? But apparently, this article was updated on September 12th, 2025. Remove quotes after the verified source, who attended high school with Tyler Robinson, said after publication they could not accurately remember details of their relationship.
Yeah, so it was bullshit.
I live in the shooter's hometown. This anonymous friend is literally my coworker. What? He came to work today bragging about how he lied his ass off in this interview for the memes, then bragged some more when this was published, told me he never even talked to the kid. I called the Guardian complaints hotline and left a voicemail after I found out, LOL, that I caused this retraction. I'll have to ask him if he had a change of heart later in the day or something. Sure you do. I'll post a pic in the morning. Here's proof. Wait, what? Pineview High School 2014. Was this the high school he went to? Is this enough proof? You could just be a guy that went to the high school, but I went to the same high school as him, albeit 7 years earlier. I know exactly where his house is. Why would I lie? Why would you lie?
This is 100%
trolling. I mean, he posted a yearbook thing. According to Reuters, Tyler Robinson was living at his parents' home at the time of Charlie Kirk's assassination, but according to Brooke Singman at Fox News, Tyler was living with a transgender roommate.
Fox News says he's living with a transgender roommate, and then another thing is saying that he lives with his parents. Like, we're not going to know anything until the court case comes out. That's just the way it's going to be. We're not going to know shit until there's, like, sworn affidavits and people are, like, testifying before a court of law and saying things on a public record that if they were caught lying, same bat time, same bat channel, exactly, that they can be held in contempt of court. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to know jack shit until this information goes through that filter. And we see always trans. Yep. That's always trans.
A roommate or girlfriend. See, that there's no point. Again, I understand. I get the breaking news thing. It's fun. It's exciting. Obviously, I have high viewership, my money. But God, it's so worthless.
Yep.
After Kirk's killing, suspect joked that his doppelganger did it. Before he was arrested on suspicion of carrying out the assassination, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson sent friends messages showing that he was closely following news about the killing. The day after Charlie Kirk was killed, an acquaintance of Tyler Robinson's posed a question to him in a group chat. The FBI just released 2 grainy surveillance images of a skinny young man in a cap and sunglasses walking in a stairwell on the Utah Valley University campus, and had asked for the public's help in identifying the suspect. Tagging Mr. Robinson's username on Discord, a messaging platform, the acquaintance attached the images and wrote, "Where you at?" with a skull emoji. Oh, God. Suggesting that Mr. Robinson, 22, looked like the man being sought. Mr. Robinson replied within a minute. His doppelganger, he wrote, was trying to get me in trouble. Tyler killed Charlie, another user wrote, apparently in jest. That was on Thursday afternoon around 1 p.m. local time. It was not until later that night, nearly 34 hours after the shooting, that Mr. Robinson was arrested on suspicion of carrying out the assassination of Mr. Kirk. The Discord messages were the clearest glimpse yet of the suspect's demeanor in the hours after the killing.
Trans people are
they were shared with the New York Times by someone who knew Mr. Robinson in high school and has kept up with him in the group chat. Not the group chat, which includes about 20 people. That means it was a Discord server. But said he had not seen Mr. Robinson in person for several years. He spoke on the condition that his name not be used, fearing harassment for being an acquaintance of the suspect. Does the Times have like internet savvy people going through this Discord? I feel like you could find the ideology so fast if you just knew what you were actually reading or looking for. After Mr. Robinson joked that the gunman was his look-alike, another user suggested that the group could turn Mr. Robinson in and get the $100K reward that the FBI was offering. Only if I get a cut, he responded. Whatever you do, don't go to McDonald's anytime soon. Kind of crazy how they're just like memeing after killing somebody. Jesus. Mr. Robinson agreed and offered a supposed joke of his own writing. Better also get rid of this manifesto and exact copy rifle I have lying around. When another user suggested that the killing of Mr. Kirk would lead President Trump to send the National Guard to Utah, the suspect replied, "In a red state? Nah, clearly the shooter was from California." Before the exact phrasing of the engravings was publicly known, the suspect sent messages that suggested he was closely following the news. I heard the ammo had something about trans stuff on it, but they aren't releasing photos or exact quotes, he wrote. He added, and also the claim wasn't backed by the official FBI, just some dude in the briefing room.
Recognized his son as the person of interest, and when asked, he fessed up to it. Sources say Tyler actually threatened suicide, saying he'd rather kill himself, which led the dad to call up his minister, who happened to be a U.S. Marshal. Robinson later surrendered and was booked into jail. The jail, 250 miles from the crime scene. That's right.
I am against arresting people, but I wouldn't be against raising punishment for extreme cases. It depends on what you mean by punishments there, buddy. Like, if it's the death penalty, I'm not backing that play, dog. I'm sorry. I don't think that the government should kill people just because something bad happens. I think that we should try to always reform people, and which is what the initial idea of prison is. We send you to prison, we strip away most of your rights, slap you on the wrist, give you a time frame for you to pay your penance for the crime that you've committed, and then when you get out of prison, you're done. Like, they shouldn't be arrested for talking. Well, yeah, I agree. Or being trans. Yeah. But people aren't usually arrested for being trans or talking. Like, especially in America, we're supposed to have freedom of speech. Well, we're supposed to until, like, Donald Trump does what Donald Trump does. Like, if you say I'm pro-Palestinian or pro-Palestine or pro-Gaza or whatever, you get deported from our country, which is fucking insane. Like, the Palestinian people aren't even killing Americans, dude. They're not over here fucking doing terrorist attack on our lands. Like, Hamas isn't, like, throwing raids on our buildings. Like, just because Israel's our ally doesn't mean we can't be critical of the things that Israel's fighting. Until miscarriages of justice don't happen, the death penalty is always wrong. Exactly, dude. Exactly.
The guy made it all the way home. So how'd he do it? New video shows Robinson leaving his sniper's nest and jumping off the roof. After that, he dumped his gun in the woods and hopped in a gray Dodge Challenger and drove 4 hours.
A gray Dodge Challenger? Bro, hold on. Hold on. I had a gray Dodge Challenger. Hold on. Me and the shooter have something in common. I agree we shouldn't fund Israel. Well, I'm not going to say that either. I think that we have a vested interest in the in Israel being Israel. You know, they do have a democracy. They do have like 2 million Palestinians living in their country with inside their own border, Israel proper. Like, we need to, like, find a way to get Netanyahu out of there and make them simmer the fuck down and come to goddamn talking, like, be able to talk with the Palestinians and broker a peace deal. And we need the Palestine to have their own fucking state where we no longer have, you know, like, actual massive borders and checkpoints for Palestinians that have to pass through to go to fucking work. We need to drop the blockade. But Israel's not going to do any of these things until they know Hamas is completely dealt with. So we're in a fucking shitty position. If we're giving them money, they should be, no, I'm sorry, buddy. I love you so much, Cracker Snatcher. We've been friends for a long time. America has vested interest in the world. Our soft power needs to happen all around the world. The striking down of U.S. aid was bad. Like, now that there's going to be, like, what, 1 million fucking Africans that are going to die to AIDS because we no longer are offering treatments. That soft power was a huge boost to our economic capabilities around the world, and it gave us a way in to like move change in a way without military might. It's okay to disagree. Yeah, I know, but like isolationist stuff is not the way. You're talking about straight up populism, which is one of the most dangerous things we've ever seen in every form of government ever. Populism is how you get people to agree with communism. Populism is how you get people to agree to hate other people. Populism is how you get people to agree with things like Nazi Germany. Like, when you tell people that there is a small sect of people creating their problems and that we're going to use our group against them, that is dangerous. Having not necessarily open borders by any means, but having free trade and like communicating with the world and showing the world that America has the capacity for good is a good thing, because we have shown numerous times that we have the capacity for evil. We need to be willing to work with these other countries because it is a shared planet. It's not just America. It's not just Japan. It's not just Russia. We are a world of people with different ideologies, views, and beliefs, obviously, but we should be able to work together to build a better future. And if that means sometimes we got to spend 5 cents a day on our taxes to help out a bunch of impoverished countries, so be it. That money is nothing compared to how much good it does and how much good it perpetuates in the societies around at large. Like, a lot of countries have a lot of reasons to hate. It could be argued that Israel was formed as a terrorist state after a series of terrorist attacks against the British. You could argue that. I'm not going to. I think that Israel serves a tremendous purpose to the American sovereignty, and the American mission and democracy and open trade. It's crazy. It's in our own interest. Stopping pandemics in countries where they start is cheap. There's a, yes. Like, if pandemics start spreading around the world, by the time it becomes like a raging sickness, it will hurt Americans. Soft power is underrated. Exactly. We need soft power. And all of these things were unilaterally voted on by our Congress, by our elected officials. And they just came in and said, nah, dog, fuck that. PR value got worldwide for investments, and the aid was cheap. Ultimately, I would want peace, but this is a whole underground world. There's always going to be crime, Cracker Snatcher. As long as we have things such as freedom, crime will persist. As long as we give people the option to do things, they will find the easiest means to do something. Like, it's the reason why a lot of people that suffer in the black community turn to crime to begin with. It was hard for them to find a job. It was hard for them to, like, have employers take them seriously. And because they were in such impoverished areas, their schools weren't as well developed because the schools are paid for by the taxes of the community that they're in. And the community they're in has been redlined into being a poorer community. They're never going to have the financial necessity or the financial reach to, like, uplift these students. Like, some of these people that are going to school without fucking AC, and we know that people that are uncomfortable have a harder time focusing on things. There's already studies and stuff that show this. So some of these people have a hard time finding a job, and what they do is they turn to crime, or they turn to drugs, or they turn to gangs, and it creates a cycle. What are we doing? And, like, I would be okay with the idea that, like, hey, if we don't spend this money abroad, maybe we'll spend the money here. But you never hear Republicans doing that. They'll say, we're not going to spend the money abroad. We better not send any money to Ukraine. As the great philosopher Ren once said, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Exactly, dude. They don't spend the money on a local level. When I was in jail, they had no learning books available. Well, yeah, but that's because our prisons are, like, you know, poorly run. We need to optimize that. But we can do two things at once. You know what I mean? Like, we can help stop AIDS in another country, and then also, like, do prison reform in America. The world is the general loved and respected America. Ask any random kid on the planet, and Americans were the good guys. That's changing. And that was worth billions of dollars in terms to you guys. Exactly. Yeah, they do not reform. Yeah, we need reforms, but we can do two things at one time. The problem is the Republicans will be like, we need to stop sending money to Ukraine. And then you're like, okay, well, what are we going to use that money on here? We're going to rebuild our roads? And they're like, well, no. We're going to give tax cuts to the rich. Well, what? Why? Then why are we stopping sending money to Ukraine? Well, because we don't want that money to go to Ukraine. If the point is to, like, do the spending here, why are none of them advocating for that? Why are all of them saying we got to stop the spending? And then Trump is like, let's go throw a $25 million military parade for no fucking reason. That made us the laughingstock of the world because it was so fucking poorly done. It starts to fall flat when all the other stuff isn't working with it. Like, I could understand the populist argument if, like, things were moving in that direction. Like, if they were willing to, like, okay, we're going to stop spending money here, but we're going to spend money in our schools and improve our quality of life. But they don't do that. They always vote against these things. Their whole thing is, we're not going to spend money, we're not going to spend money, we're not going to spend money. Unless it means cutting people from Medicare, and then they're going to cut them and then use that money to, like, go to the rich. It's like, fuck, man. What's the point of not spending the money if we're not going to fucking use that money somewhere else? So it all comes down to bullshit. It's all lies. It's all bullshit. It just makes them look like the party of people that don't want to spend money. But at the end of the day, they just pass that big, beautiful bill. They give massive tax cuts to the rich. And then they don't try to use that money that we're not spending somewhere else to do anything else other than fucking sit on it. It just goes nowhere. It's all bullshit.
Home. The governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, says the family did the right thing by turning their son in. Robinson's believed to have acted alone, but he left a hefty trail of evidence. Investigators found messages that he sent to his roommate.
These photos consisted of various messages stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left.
Sorry, Cracky, you know I love you, all right? So if it goes to the pockets, why would we not want it to go to the kids in Africa that could use it? Or the gender studies in, like, the Middle East, where women are forced to wear gowns over their entire body and are told that their bodies are, like, the property of men. I'll never understand this world. Like, what's the fucking end game? No clue. I don't know. Liz Truss tried to give tax cuts to the rich. She lasted 49 years. Jesus Christ.
And a message.
People keep saying Obama was the one who divided the country. Is there any truth to that claim?
Bullshit.
I don't remember him ever being divisive. This is delusion from the right. But you need to listen. You need to listen to their media. When you were listening to like Rush Limbaugh on the day, every single day you were hearing about these people were commies. They were socialists. They were trying to destroy.
I'm just saying, if we give money, we should make money from it like Mr. Beast does. We do, though. By giving money to these impoverished areas, it gives us access to their markets as well, because we're going to have Americans on the ground floor there. This is an opportunity for us to build up businesses there and immigrate. Well, not necessarily immigrate there, but use their natural resources, because they can trade something they have an abundance in for access to our medications and other things that can help modern lives. Now, we shouldn't do those things for money, but we receive money from these things. And we have entire PR departments that like are worth millions of dollars that would love to have the PR that like US aid used to give. It was a powerful force for good. There's a reason why it was created to begin with. But the problem is all the people now are so fucking dense in their own mind that they just see money going out. Meanwhile, these are the same people that'll complain about the prices of everyday living, but like they're ordering DoorDash 3 days of the week, or they're eating out 3 to 4 days of the week, or they're spending their money on Starbucks, or buying a video game for $100 for what? The same people that are asking for this level of like conservatism of our government would never practice that in their own life. And having stability in the world is ultimately profitable for large countries in the US. Yeah. Yes, also because like no one wants to open a business in a country that's constantly under war. Like, how are we going to go drill in Ukraine since they're giving us some of their shit if like they're at war with Russia? We would want the war to end so that we can have access to the land minerals that they were willing to give us, to give them security guarantees, right? Like, they've already given us their nuclear weapons for those security guarantees that we aren't really following through on. That's bullshit. But, like, the world makes more money when the world is at peace. There's a reason why the Middle East is kind of getting sick of Palestine, dude. No matter whether they believe in this shit or not. Like, at the end of the day, they're normalizing peace with Israel. And they're getting access to U.S. markets because of it. They're making more money. The wealth of their society is increasing. That doesn't mean they're okay with what's happening in Israel-Palestine. But you don't see a lot of Muslim countries coming to the defense of Palestine anymore. I think the biggest advocates for Palestine right now are Africa. Why is that? Oh, it's probably because they make a lot of money in a peaceful region of the land, and if the people aren't trying to kill each other, business can fucking exist. Like, big businesses want to prop up and propagate all around the world, but they can't do that if the leadership in countries are constantly being tossed, overthrown, or killed. Because if they send workers there and those workers die, Putin is running rings around Trump. I agree. Trump is incompetent.
The country every single day. You got this fed to you from all forms of conservative media. So that's why you get the feeling that Obama was like crazy divisive or whatever. Keep in mind that those same horrible healthcare pushes, the same horrible healthcare changes that Obama made, that Trump came into office to try to repeal and replace, are the ones that now Trump defends and says those were his idea.
Yep. It's because they're popular. The left has been raising and ratcheting political tension for years. Not the left, I'm sorry, the right. The right has tried to use immigration as a bludgeon. As a weapon. The U.S. is already on top or near the top when things are going well. When things go really bad in the world, things become unstable and it hurts the USA 100%. I mean, Africa's making power plays. Yeah. The right has been using people like Rush Limbaugh, may he rest in peace. Charlie Kirk, may he rest in peace. They used Glenn Beck, they used Tucker Carlson, Bill O'Reilly, and they've used immigration consistently since I was a child as a weapon. Fox News' entire motif for years has been fear. They try to propagate fear. And the more you're afraid, the easier you are to control. The more you're afraid, all they have to do is point a finger and say that's the person that's to blame. And then the mob will go kill that person. Africa is a whole bunch of separatist countries. I think it was South Africa that was the one that did the filing for the ICJ to say that what Israel's doing is a genocide. And if I believe correctly, the ICJ said they were going to look into it. They said that it has meet the bar to like Abraham Kirk is the most famous man in Africa at the moment. That one, I don't know. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't really give a fuck that much. Those guys are domestic terror. Yeah. Look, I know that the ICJ said that there was enough evidence. It wasn't to say that it was in Africa. It was actually a pretty low bar, but I know that they said that it was enough to investigate the crime of genocide. Now, I don't know if the ICJ has come out and said it outright, but I know that one of the members of the ICJ, when they came out, said that it wasn't on a thing. You would have to watch like the debate between like Norm Finkelstein and Destiny, or because like they're the only ones really having it at the time. But yeah, dude, like I think one of the African groups was like appealing to the UN, and the UN said that there was enough of the evidence to suggest that they should look into it, and that's where the last I think it ended. And then I think a couple months later they put out an arrest warrant for Netanyahu to appear before, but they also did the same thing for the leaders of Hamas. But at the end of the day, no one's really going to listen to Piranha Boy is the most famous person in Africa. Why is Africa got so many things going on?
The pre-existing condition stuff, he's not going to get rid of that because they're popular now. So
It's referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel.
We now know more about the engravings on the shell casings. Listen.
Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?"
Notices bulge. What is this? Ooh. Hey man, that's hilarious. And that's kind of popular in the groper movement because they're like really into femboys. The UN has called it a genocide too, but Israel will take absolutely no notice as usual. I don't think the ICJ has actually clarified it as a genocide yet. I could totally be wrong. I kind of stopped following like 3-4 months ago because instead of worrying about what's happening in Israel-Palestine, I got more worried about what's happening in my own country because an insane fascist became president. I had to start worrying things a little bit closer to home. But at the time of the ICJ case, because I know they said it takes a little bit of time to come out, they weren't comfortable calling it an actual genocide at the time. Now, that doesn't mean that it isn't one, according to them, but they just weren't comfortable making that clarification at the time. Now, however, other things could come out. Maybe UN officials might have said it, but I don't think it's been ruled as a genocide by the ICJ yet. Now, I could totally be wrong, and I'm willing to eat crow if I am, and, I'm not really too concerned about calling it a genocide anymore because, well, Trump is in office and, he's the one backing it now. So, like, if it's a genocide, he's the one that looks terrible. Anyway.
Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao," and
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Bella Ciao, so I'm just gonna not say much there.
third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Bella Ciao's and
If you read this, you are gay. Why are they not showing that one on the screen? Probably because like a trans person probably wouldn't use that vernacular while shooting somebody. All of these read as like a Groyper guy. I'm more inclined to believe a Nick Fuentes or a Sam Hyde-esque person shot Trump based off of that one aspect of information alone.
anti-Nazi song from Italy. 3 down arrows
Is Bella Ciao really an anti-Nazi song from Italy? I'm not going to trust Fox News. They want to be gay reading it. They don't want to be gay reading it. Yeah, but like, what? Bro, if it's like the left doesn't use gay as an insult typically unless they're the far left. Where, like, you know, they're attacking Pete Buttigieg and his husband and his son for some fucking reason. Because Hassan and the fucking Vanguard and his ilk are disgusting creatures that LARP as compassionate progressives until it's time to, you know, ratchet in the political fucking hit jobs. And then they're like, whoa, this gay man. I'm surprised they don't throw the F slur around just because fuck it, you know what I mean? Or like the fact that they'll talk about how racism bad, but they'll Abraham Tory is from the Burkina Faso, that once landlocked West Africa country with a total population of 23 million people. Jesus, bruh. Taylor Swift has more people subscribed to her YouTube than live in that part of Africa. That's fucking wild.
An anti-fascist symbol that's now associated with Antifa, and it's also a video game code for calling in a big bomb. Hey, fascist, catch. Well, he's calling Charlie a fascist and telling him to catch.
Anti-Nazi? Didn't Italians, did they have their own fascists? I'm trying to remember if that was the case or not, but maybe not.
A bullet.
I know nothing.
And the bulges, OWO, is sexual role-playing slang used by furry fanatics.
It's not just furry fanatics. What the fuck? They don't want, oh, altogether, there are enough Africans to match the globe. I don't know about that. I think aren't the two most populated countries in the world, China and India? But Africa is not a country. It's not? Well, Africa is a continent, right? So what do we call... Are there multiple countries in Africa? Bro, the shit you learn... like, you don't learn any of this shit in America. Not like, dude. Trump is a big fan of coffee. Especially the Maxwell. Sipping tea.
So who is this guy, this Robinson guy? He comes from a normal household, raised Mormon, parents are Republican.
Ooh, I like that mask slip right there. Comes from a normal household. Would he say the same thing about like a Democrat home? Are they not normal? Are they not normal Americans that just disagree on like fiscal responsibility and like our state place on the world stage? Nah. No, he wouldn't say that.
Robinson guy. He comes from a normal household, raised Mormon, parents are Republican. His father's in construction, and they live in a 6-bedroom home in Utah.
God damn, how rich is that motherfucker? I mean, the kid had a Dodge Challenger. I hate the middle class so fucking much, man. They have a 6-bedroom home. His son has a Dodge Challenger. I don't know about you. I just tried to buy a Dodge Challenger, and for 3 years, I spent about $30,000 to $35,000. And then I had to spend another $5,000 to turn the motherfucker back in, so I wouldn't owe any money on it. So I'm out like 40 fucking grand. Financially, I'll never recover from that. What the fuck, man? Especially when I make like $200 a month off YouTube. Dog, I'm poorer than poor. Get out of here. And yet, you know what? I still can. Well, I don't think I'm normal. Never mind. I take that back. Bro, how the fuck are you going to have a 6-bedroom house? What the fuck? I bet you these people complained about the prices of eggs. Jesus Christ.
He grew up hunting, which explains why he was a good shot. And academically, he was a straight-A student who got a college scholarship.
Okay, I was about to say, it doesn't mean shit. I'm a straight-A student, man, and I'm a fucking dunce. But okay, you got a scholarship. Never mind.
But he dropped out of college after 1 semester, went back to live at home.
Oh, no. He should have stayed in college. Oh, no. College would have unradicalized him.
And enrolled in a trade school.
Okay, well, hold on. They can't have their cake and eat it too. Define normal. I cannot. You'll make it back. Here's my question, though, all right? Look, if the Republicans say, and I'm going to use a word that my girlfriend hates, which is a bummer. I hate using it now. Well, I mean, it's funny when I use it when she's around, but I don't like to make her mad. You know, she's already trying to make me a better person. Like I dropped the R word already. Well, that was rough. she got mad at me last night because I said gay is an insult, but to myself. And I'm like, whoa, I'm half gay. Get out of here. I'm allowed to use that one. There are 45 countries in Africa, many of which are at war with each other. Talking about Africa as if it's one entity just because it's one is irrelevant. My apologies, Clara. Thank you for correcting my stupid American way. I apologize. So it was one of the 54 African countries that submitted something to the ICJ. Allow me to quantify my statement and retract my initial pig-headed statement. Fuck, I forgot what I was about to say. Dude, I'm so bad at this.
Oh no! College would have.
Yeah, dude. Okay, these motherfuckers can't have their cake and eat it too. So, and I apologize in advance if you're watching, honey, and for those of you that are sensitive to such words. You cannot say college makes you soy as fuck and then say college is what radicalized this guy to shoot somebody. It is either one or the other. If you were becoming soy, you're not going to go out and cap a motherfucker in the throat. You're not doing that. You're going to be like, oh, I don't like how this makes me feel. You are half gay. Well, yeah, I'm bisexual, but like, I don't know how much of that is gay though. And I say that because I'm not like attracted to men, you know. Now femboys, bro, sign me up. Now femboys are still men that look feminine, you know. And then I love trans women, but I don't think trans women are men. I don't give a fuck about the product of their birth. The person they are right now is a woman. So I don't know if that makes me gay. Now, me and my affection for femboys is probably the most suspect here. But damn, boys can look good in a skirt. Some of the most educated people lack basic common sense. I got you right there. That's true, and I'm one of them, bro. My girlfriend watching me eat like healthy food has been the most hilarious thing in the world. Like, I'm sitting here trying, like, I had to eat, what is that shit called? A cauliflower. I had like baby bell sprouts the other day. Like, what the fuck? I ate cabbage, bro. Like, we went shopping and she was like, I haven't been in a store in like 10 years, bro. Or at least like 5. I think, 5 years. Holy shit. So like, I'm lost when I'm doing like everyday normal human things. If it's not League of Legends or video games related or politics related, I don't know shit. Or music or to some extent writing, but like, I don't even know the proper way to like, dude, I didn't know what an M-dash was, okay? Like, I would use, like, AI to, like, properly structure my stuff, because I used it as, like, an editor, and I kept using M-dashes, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that proper? What the fuck? Cabbage is good. I eat it like a potato chips. What the fuck? That shit was terrible, bro. Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. We had a salad 2 nights ago. And like, I was like, this is like the only part of like the healthy food that I've eaten besides cucumbers that I fuck with. You know what I mean? Like, all of it else has been terrible. Like, I'm gonna keep eating it because I want to be around for my girlfriend, and she's helped giving me another perspective, and all of the renegades here have given me a better perspective of myself. And I'm gonna be doing like a weight loss journey, dude. When I moved out here, I was like 480 pounds, and now my shorts don't fucking fit, and I walk every night. This Saturday, we're gonna be going to the school over out yonder and walk the woods that are catty corny to it. You know what I mean? Like, we out here tackling this shit in real time, but like, bro, god damn. Anyway, sorry, I got onto my own bullshit.
Home.
Oh no, he should have stayed in college. Oh no, college would have unradicalized him.
And enrolled in a trade school, looking to become an electrician.
All of this sounds MAGA to me, bro. Blue collar guy working as an electrician. Like Uncle Ray. Exactly. Uncle Ray told me. I would love to have a conversation with Uncle Ray, because I know he's pretty far on the right. Well, I wouldn't say far on the right, but I know he's placed firmly on the right. And I would love just to have a conversation, because me and him probably disagree on so much. But at the end of the day, I bet you, because I love him, and he hasn't really responded to any of my messages, so like, But at the same time, I think that like, Ray was the catalyst. Exactly, dude. Yeah, his little pep talk, man. No matter what Ray is or what he says, I love him, And I would love to have a conversation with him. Make America great again. And even if it was like it's not non-political, you know what I mean? Like we just vibe, bro. Talk about music. Like honestly, Uncle Ray not only did that, he's very busy. I know. I understand that he's very busy. There's nothing wrong with an M dash. It's used throughout classical literature. It's just AI overuses it so it's sus. Well, yeah, but like when because I'll read it like put a chapter through it, and then it'll add an M dash, and I'm like, shouldn't a comma be there? Why is there an M? I don't know what that fucking line is. I'm just saying that's how stupid I am. Even on something that I try to do as a career. You know what I mean? Like, I like my commas, dude. I understand that. Comma, continue, comma. But when I feed it through like AI, they're like, we're gonna throw M dashes everywhere, and I'm like, okay. If no one's told me it's incorrect, so I'll leave them in. But okay, like, thanks, dude. You know, but yeah, Uncle Ray's got a lot going on. I know that he showed up in like Slim Shady's thing and stuff like that. But Uncle Ray not only helped give me a reason to want to start taking care of my health, because like seeing someone like him, you know, shout out my channel. I know that he didn't do that out of the kindness of his heart. I think someone paid him to do it, but it was still cool that he was willing to do that and go over my shit. Ray's done more to support Perman than any other reactor, so I'm not bothered. Exactly, dude. Not bothered by his politics either. Hell, dude, he could come out as a Nazi. I'd still love his ass. You know what I mean? I know he's not. I know he's just a guy that probably voted for Trump, likes a lot of their messaging. And hell, I can understand why people like that shit, dude. I get it. You know what I mean? I can understand why some people like the whole, we don't give a fuck no more. We're not going to walk on eggshells. Fuck the woke. I understand. He does so much charity work. It's fantastic. Yeah, dude. Uncle Ray is a real one. And, the one thing that I really want to, so I have a video that I've been working on that I might start working on while I'm streaming, at least an hour a day. So this way I can even slow down my uploads a little bit. He's helped so many memes. Say, yeah. Uncle Ray told me in my video about John Mayer that, Neon, Rin's cover of Neon from when he was a younger man, he told me that he loved the voice, right? And that, like, he thought I should, like, do, like, one of these, like, history of. Now, I'm not going to do that, but, like, so the video, I have a video that I'm doing, and it covers the live version and the original version of a song called Robin Williams by Noah Gunderson. He's good at publicizing small change. Exactly, dude. And I want to go over, you know, because I don't want to just do a reaction to it. I love these songs. I listen to them all the time. And I want to do an actual thoughtful video outside of just me doing a reaction, where I'm going over the lyrics and what they mean, essentially doing like a video essay talking about the strengths and greatness of this song because of Uncle Ray and the things that he said. I was like, you know what, dude? Maybe this could be the version of the content I release that I can be the most proud of. That I can be like, yep, he's doing the thing. Oh no, am I going on another side quest? Anyway, let's just say this, okay? I'm doing a video that's going to take me like a month and a half to edit, and then I'm going to put it out there. Instead of doing every Sunday a letter to my a song stuck in my head, a song stuck in my head is going to be a video essay about why the song is great, going over the lyrics, the instrumentation, all of it, in like, it's called Robin Williams by Noah Gunderson. There's a live version and there's a studio version that are both amazing. And I want to go over that song because it goes over like not just Robin Williams. I meant Ray. Sorry, no, I got you. But I want to do that shit, you know. And because Uncle Ray said that's something I should do, I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna go to his channel. I'm gonna pay him money to react to it because I'm doing it because he told me to. You know what I mean? And like I think that would be really fun and really interesting. So, you know, I don't know what his cost is. I'll figure it out. I'll go to his thing. I'll figure that shit out. But when that video comes out, I'm going to see if, like, you know, it lives up to the standard that he thought it could be. And I'm going to put a lot of effort in that motherfucker. So I'm going to start working on that eventually on these streams because I'm just running out of time. Because when my girlfriend gets home, I'm sorry, bro. I'll respond to comments. I'll cut and crop videos. But when a video starts rendering, I run out, dude. I start hanging out with my girl, dude. I don't want her to be in that kitchen cooking alone. Fuck that. This ain't no fucking, like, some bullshit where she's, like, none of that, dude. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, that's the goal. That's the plan. And I fucking love that song. So it's gonna be really fun to do.
A family member said he wasn't political until recently when something snapped.
The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had.
Why, who didn't like them? The family or the kid?
Incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate.
God, I hate Kash Patel. Just putting that out there. A man who wrote a children's book to radicalize minors to call Donald Trump king.
They? Does he mean him? Is he just using the singular they? Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're just the family's tyrant.
And spreading hate.
One of Robinson's friends spoke to The Guardian and said he was
Wait, can somebody link me that full press conference?
really leftist, pretty left on everything, quote unquote. They said he became
Yeah, but that entire story has been retracted. What the fuck?
an extremist, started ranting and raving. Robinson apparently spent too much time online. His shell casings had internet slang, and he dressed up as memes for Halloween.
Oh, it's
All of this is pointing to the Groyper movement. The Groyper movement is a bunch of radical incels that think that Charlie Kirk was too soft and not Republican enough. Kash is not even a proper name.
it's in the news now, right?
Robinson spent hours and hours alone staring at a screen. A Christian kid in a conservative household raised by a loving mom and dad in Utah, not surrounded by radical leftists.
Radical leftists on mainstream Fox News TV. We cannot de-escalate violence until the right is willing to. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing you can do. They think that we're evil. And I am center left. I believe that we should eventually get to where medical stuff is supplied by the state. But for now, I'm for reforms and lowering the prices until we can slowly work towards that. I'm for a slower progression of these things and of making more and more medical options available for a larger majority of people until we can finally get there. I'm for strong safety nets for those that lose their jobs, or those that have inabilities to do their jobs, or work as part of our society. And some of that is a selfish conservative view that I have, that if someone is not able to keep up in the workplace, okay, let's give them enough money to where they don't need to enter it, and they can get out of the way and let those that can do. That's a fucked up way of looking at it, but I'm just looking at it from the view of a manager. I want an employee that can put out a good amount of output, you know what I mean? But then you also have the humanity aspect of it. Well, the humanity aspect of it's clearly on the left. We don't want people to suffer in America, whether or not they're out in the fucking trenches working every day or not. People should be able to afford everything they need to have a successful life. Does that mean they need to have the newest iPhone and the brand new Xbox 360 or whatever fucking Xbox comes out next? You know, maybe that might be something they have to work towards saving. We have that here with National Health Service. It's not perfect, but it works with the majority no matter what you're in. Exactly, dude. And I know that like a Republican would come and be like, well, technically the doctors can't turn you away. This is true. They can't. But then you get riddled with fucking debt. Trust me, I know. I owed like $2,000 to the government. GOP Christian says no help for the poor or hungry. Let's give it to the richest among us. Exactly, dude. I wouldn't mind the Republican view on a lot of these things if they at least took care of the communities that they were supposed to be defending. Like, if you are a Christian, you should want to lift up the poor. Like, Jesus' entire thing was about destroying the government, or not the government, but like the idea of religion and helping those that truly needed help. And another thing that's really important is that if laws are only for those that don't have money, then they cannot be fair in practice. That's a true statement. Like, if your inability to afford good fucking lawyers are the thing that makes it to where you're more likely to go to jail, and people that can afford good lawyers get out scot-free for their crimes because they could cough up extra money for a good lawyer, that means the system is broken. I don't think lawyers should make the money that they do. I think that there shouldn't be a private entity of lawyers. I think that all lawyers were like civil servants for the government. It'd be nice if they actually believe Jesus' message. I know, dude. They call themselves Christians and they LARP as like these holy people. Yeah, dude, those on the right are very selective in quoting the Bible. Look, man, those of us on the left adjacent, center, far left, mid left, fucking Democrat, socialist, it doesn't matter. Robert Kraft beat a case when the police had him on video. That's fucking crazy. Or they'll be like, this person offers too much to our society to send them to jail, so where they're going to give them a lighter sentence or give them like some soft ass prison thing or send them to like a federal prison that's basically, you know, like a fucking vacation home. That's bullshit. If you commit a crime, you should be held accountable for that crime. The amount of good you put in the world should not offset the crime whatsoever. Like Trump, when he's found guilty of a crime, should be held accountable, man. That's what justice is supposed to be blind, okay? We're not supposed to worry about the impact of imprisoning this person is going to have on our economy. Whether or not these people like employ thousands of people or not is irrelevant from what it means to be justice, man. Okay, anyway.
But gets radicalized into fighting fascists online.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God, no. Are they going to really run the gambit of like people saying someone's fascist as using the same rhetoric that Donald Trump uses all the time? Like, if we see a spade and we call a thing a spade, and now we're going to be told by saying, like, telling the truth that now, like, we're participating in violence. Holy fuck, the spin. You know, Bill O'Reilly used to call his show the No Spin Zone. This is a fucking spin, my guy. Is Trump actually Christian at all, or is he just pandering to the strong Catholic lobby? Yeah. Trump doesn't know shit about the Bible. Trump doesn't give a fuck. Trump doesn't lift people up from poverty. He doesn't care about his neighbor. If he did, he'd condemn the violence and ask it for it to be cooled down, because he knows that now Democrats might start getting blasted by insane nut jobs that have guns.
Fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
It is.
One issue you have to get into here, and nobody will address this, I guess. Fuck them, because everybody's a coward, including the fucking mainstream left-leaning losers. And I brought this up on my debate last night. We need to have a discussion on the factual claims on both sides, okay? If a person comes into your house and they're a rapist, and somebody says, hey, that guy's a rapist, and then another guy comes into the house who's not a rapist, and someone says, hey, that's a rapist, you can't say, bro, you can't just call, when you call this guy and this guy.
Well, many people have asked specific questions to him about the Bible, and he just goes, oh, I love all the stories in the... Yeah, dude, he doesn't... He can't quote shit from the Bible. He doesn't... I don't think he knows how to read, dude. People have to explain EOs to him. Christians are so easy to manipulate and it's almost tempting. Yeah, dude. And they believe that they have figured it out because the Divine Father has told them so. But then when you ask them, okay, so why are there... Okay, what's the difference between Muslims and Christians? What's the difference? There isn't one, really. They believe in roughly the same God. They believe in a lot of the same principles. There's a minor delineation between these two things, okay? And yet both of them think the other one is wrong and they are right. How do we reconcile that when it's roughly the same religion? We can't. Because neither of them are right, bro. None of them have the evidence to make the moral claim or the claim that they are fact-based. Like when Robert Redford died, he couldn't name a single film he was in.
This guy a rapist, it's bad. You can't do that. It's like, well, hold on. It might be accurate in one of these cases. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anybody should go kill anybody. It doesn't necessarily excuse any political violence. But I'm just saying that we should be able to evaluate the factualness of both of these claims, no? Now, of course, Fox News wouldn't agree, obviously, that Trump is an authoritarian, even though he obviously and clearly is, and they clearly and obviously support it. But
what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
Donald Trump is a fascist.
Trump is a fascist dictator.
As a fascist dictator.
Fascist chaos.
Fascist.
This is also deeply unserious because, one, Trump has literally called Kamala fascist multiple times, and Biden. And two, they use communist all the time when they talk about the left. They've been doing it for 2 decades, okay?
Regime. Look, are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes.
These are all things that the Republicans constantly say about the Democrats, of course. So this is all unserious, right?
Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes.
So how did America confront fascism in World War II? We went to war. The message is, these men are dangerous fascists. Be a hero. Take them out.
American politics today is between these far-left fascists led by Harris and her group. We have a fascist person running who's incompetent. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist. She's not actually a socialist. She's gone past that. Somebody's got to explain this woman. There's a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist.
All of them.
And today, Democrat senators have declared war again.
They believe in Jesus. One is an update of the other. Same with Christianity. Exactly. Exactly. But like Christians will never like reconcile that because you can't. Why is theirs more correct than yours? That's why when Ricky Gervais came out and said, me and you believe the same shit. I just believe it about one extra religion. Because Christians will go out wholeheartedly and say all the other religions are lies. They're wrong. They are monstrous. Only one religion that I'm aware of, and maybe this could be my own ignorance, which is Buddhism, states that all pathways lead to enlightenment. All religious pathways, all spiritual pathways can lead to enlightenment. Projection on steroids. Exactly, dude. Jesus fucking Christ.
Again.
We're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have...
And now, all of the political jargon, now all of it is to be seen as literal. Now all of it is literally calling for violence, literally
Yeah, okay, hold on. I remember Destiny going to debate about January 6th on numerous occasions. I've seen him go on like talk shows, radio shows, all this shit. And people will say, well, Donald Trump never expressly said a call to violence. Even though he said you're going to fight like hell to save your country. And if you don't fight now, your country's lost forever. They are stealing the election from you. About Noah's... Exactly, dude. So, like, here we have all these people that are going to give endless charitability and endless grace to Donald Trump, okay? Someone who, like, literally led an insurrection against our government, right? Like, and broke constitutional law, got fucking Ashley Babbitt killed, got a couple police officers killed a few days later due to injuries or natural causes, whatever. Okay? And they ran defense for his language and his vernacular, saying that they weren't direct calls to violence. And now here we have Fox saying, a Democrat are saying, we're at war on like ideological fields or in the war of ideas is enough to say that the radical left or the left is evil. Where is the hypocrisy? Has no bounds, and they don't care, and no one fucking gives a shit, and the normies that exist in this world are eating this shit up. Why is it the right can do whatever the fuck it wants, whenever the fuck it wants, and no one holds it accountable? What was the quote? Something like, I like your Christianity, I just wish they were more Christian, like Gandhi. on January said he was responsible. Exactly, dude. Ben Shapiro said it. Like, bro, this is insane. I don't think we should bend the knee and fucking beg for forgiveness for if the guy's on the left for the radical. You know, we don't need to bend the knee anymore. The right isn't going to do it. The right isn't going to hold themselves accountable. I still don't think Charlie Kirk should be dead. I don't think he should have been assassinated. I don't condone violence. But at this point, dude, I'm losing my mind. Seeing the way the right is acting is insane. Calling for civil fucking war. Pixie, who is such a mensch.
Calling for that. Ignore the fact that Trump said you need to fight like hell to take your country back. And immediately after, people went to the Capitol and insurrected, right? That wasn't Trump's. Now
back.
all of it is literally calling for violence, literally calling for death. Ignore the fact that Trump said you need to fight like hell to take your country back. And immediately after, people went to the Capitol and insurrected, right? That wasn't Trump's fault. That wasn't, you can't draw a direct link from that, even though you literally can draw a direct link everywhere through that. Now all of it is incredibly literal.
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Anyway, who are you and why are you here?
I'm Ann Williams. I'm here supporting Obama.
Tell me about your health care situation.
We are an example of somebody. My husband and I have 6 children. We
have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
Whatever is necessary to save the country? That's a call to arms.
What? Whatever is necessary to save your...
In order to save the country.
Whatever is necessary to save the country? That's a call to arms.
When Trump says you're going to lose your country if you don't fight like... What does that mean then? That's not a call to arms? What? Destiny, you've been saying the right needs to turn down the temperature. Agreed. It's kind of a cesspool at the moment. Honest take, do you think Kirk would have done that if some other rightoid was shot? He constantly advocated nonviolence. Would you want, say, Hassan?
Dude, Charlie Kirk was one of the people that laughed about Nancy Pelosi's husband being beat to death. He laughed about that Trey Levon kid getting shot by a police officer. No, Charlie Kirk would not say if the role was reversed. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, bro.
Or Vosh to turn that on the temp. If you got shot, not to put that evil energy out there or anything. What I want, I don't want anybody to turn the temperature down. I want the temperature to turn down, right? So that's the goal. So what we want to find is what are effective ways to turn the temperature down, okay? Well, the way to turn the temperature down is to find the party that is raising the temperature and to tell them to stop, okay? Vosh and Hassan, I mean, one of their followers killed me, then I guess I would say fuck them. But like, generally right now, the Donald Trump shit is crazy. Like, there is an argument to be made that if Biden or Kamala had won the election, that Charlie Kirk wouldn't have gotten shot, just because politics was pretty boring.
Bro.
In the 4 years where Biden was president. We weren't seeing tweets every single fucking day. We weren't seeing truths every single fucking day. There wasn't a new scam, a new scandal, a new just insane shit happening. Even with 2 wars, arguably, that started or advanced, it just wasn't as crazy as the daily fucking insanity of the fucking Trump party. So, whatever. Members of our America's Mayor Live team have lost sleep over the murder of Charlie Kirk. The truth.
Fucking Rudy Giuliani, who got disbarred participating in the fucking lie spread on Fox News with like what was it, $800 million or $750 million defamation case where he was literally spreading misinformation about. He got sued by the people he lied about, and he got disbarred because of it. And before Alex Jones's court case was settled, it was the largest defamation case in U.S. history. Like, holy fuck, dude. Remember, this guy was also pardoned by Trump for refusing to work. Oh my God.
Some of us refused to just get over it or to get through it. We were angry. We were beyond livid. As Matt Walsh said, we aren't interested in a kumbaya moment right now. One productive outlet we found is working to peacefully expose the vile, hateful teachers and educators who are open.
So now they're calling for active doxing on people. Rump brought the violence. We said it in 2016. They always blame us. Exactly, dude.
Openly celebrating murder. These people responsible for educating you are beyond the pale.
And look at only 10% of people in the UK would have voted for Trump. Same Trump, same as they don't knows. And I'll even openly accept fault here, because during Trump's presidency the first time, I was kind of like mean to the left establishment. You know, I would be like, yo, hold on, you gotta take him at his word. You can't take him at his rhetoric. And I understand now that I was just a patsy for fucking evil, bro. And unfortunately, I managed to convince quite a few of my friends to become Republican through that process. Even though I tried everything I had in me to like, just, hey man, just question the narrative, do your own fucking information dive, look through the information, like, you know, look at the arguments in real time. Like, come on, for the love of God, please, you know, because like Jordan Peterson used to say it, but my biggest criticism of Jordan Peterson is he'd attack the left so much, but he'd never really be critical of the right. And then a couple of years later, he got bought and paid for by fucking the Daily Wire. And I'm like, oh, there's why. All of his buddies are on the right. Fuck.
Expose them all. The very future of our country is on the line. Where is their sense of humanity? Mass doxing. This guy is disbarred, by the way, for a crime that he should have been tried and probably hanged for. Treason. 100 billion trillion
I don't know about that one.
But go for it. Go off, King.
It's time we rise. Careful what you wish for.
Some haters out there, I've been taking it easy on you. I really wanted to make you look bad. I could. You hate.
Come on. Is it weird that they're all this like same color? Like, why are all these guys white?
Is this real or is this like a pre-made video? Oh my god. There's no way, dude.
I'm tired of all you liberal snowflake crap.
You live a life.
There's no shot.
That is left behind.
Hey, everybody. My name is.
I have a hard time when I'm on Instagram. I'm pulling like autism reels and I can't tell if how many are ironic or not. It's impossible to tell. Someone in Kick said, how are people framing your take of Dems should withhold their fire hose until DJT also helps with a fire hose as you're trying to start a fight? They don't believe that. Don't believe them when they say that. They don't believe it. They don't believe it. You need to put yourself in the other person's shoes and imagine how you would act if you had the feelings that you think that they do. And then when you realize that that is not synergizing, then you'll be closer to understanding what's going on, right? Just on a personal level, as somebody that I think I've met him a couple of times. I don't think we talked that much. And then he's obviously in my field. Watching Charlie Kirk get assassinated is kind of crazy because I imagine that happening to me it feels uncomfortable. Pretty easy to get killed at basically any event. Doesn't feel good. I would like there to not be a chance of that happening to me in the future. Doesn't feel good. Wouldn't like that.
Okay. I mean, you can approach that from a selfish viewpoint. That's fine. Perfect. Yeah, I don't want to get shot, so like let's not have shooting happen. But again, if you're only having one party continually de-escalate, one party call out the violence, one party give a fuck about the rules, what do you do, man? You can't be the only one. Like, if two people want, it doesn't take two people to tango, okay? Ukraine is proof of that. Ukraine didn't want to be invaded. Ukraine didn't want war. They wanted to be left the fuck alone. They wanted their borders. They wanted their control. You know what I mean? They wanted their own state. They wanted to exist. That's what they fought for in their own Hero Maidan, or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, Ukraine didn't ask Russia to invade it. Russia just chose that shit. One person can escalate violence by themselves. It doesn't take two people to like ratchet up the temperature to where people want to throw hands. We see this all, like bullies do this. Like what the kid, because a kid is dorky looking, that the bully has the right to do whatever. No, you don't go tell the fucking kid that's fucking being bullied to like chill the fuck out. Like, bro, at some point, the right has to take responsibility for the shit that they say and do. Like, we used to know this. Like, if I go into someone's life and let's say I kick in someone's door, I have a feeling that I'm going to get shot in the chest. Okay? And that feeling is good. That feeling stops me from doing things that I shouldn't do. Not because, I want to kick in someone's door, but the threat of violence is real. If I cross certain thresholds or certain lines with people, there can be real life consequences for what the fuck I'm doing. If I go down a black street and I start screaming the N-word, there's a big chance I'm going to get my ass beat. And for good reason. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, the problem is, Russia is the enemy. I just wish Trump would understand that. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Like, we know this intrinsically. Hell, Jordan Peterson talked about this. The reason why men try to be much more copacetic around one another is because they know if they go too far, violence is on the table. What the fuck, dude?
When I see the other side and that their go-to is civil war, civil war, civil war, it makes me think that they're not very concerned about safety or something.
Well, yeah, dude, because they were talking about civil war over the border. They were talking about civil war over guns. They literally talk about civil war every opportunity they get. They always talk about succeeding from the country. Like, fucking goddamn it, dude. Like, Texas has been talking about this since I was 12, that they wanted to separate. This week, Trump was saying Ukraine shouldn't have started the war with a stronger country. Like, they thought they could win. What the fuck, dude? Trump is fucking unhinged. And the amount of people that buy the bullshit he puts out is terrifying. I never thought that my country would become the film Idiocracy that it has. I'm pretty sure eventually I'm going to see the smoke coming up. Hey, what's up? Just watch reacting to a hi Ron and saw you were live. Then I pop in and say, hey, oh my God, thank you so much. What's up? I will be uploading your High Ren cover very soon. As this someone breaks into your house and you try to fight them off, that's starting a war. Yes, facts. I do apologize, Miss Moss. I am watching political stuff at the moment, so hopefully you don't get uncomfortable. But hey, I just want to let you know that you're an awesome artist, and I wish more people would show you the love that you truly deserve. Apparently, you've done a few songs with like Victus. They played 2 songs of yours. They were really exactly. I think you've done. Someone said you did songs with Victus and Live Gangster, which I will do. I will do a reaction to those very soon. As long as I have your consent, I'm not trying to put out anything that you don't want out there. But thank you so much for stopping by. You are an amazing individual, and thank you for pushing Ren's music in many different directions. And hopefully one day I can do something similar. Oh, all right.
Else is at play there. Something different is functioning there, if that's your go-to. That's all I would say. I don't know. Something different is operating under the hood there.
I've never committed treason.
Okay, quick. I got like 2 minutes because I got a bunch of shit and I'm debating it in like 30 minutes. What's up?
No worries. It's going to be fast. It's actually relevant to what you were.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. I've done a song with Liv Gangster recently. Absolutely go ahead. I'd love to see reactions. Yeah, dude. Awesome. Thank you so much. I will happily put that out there. Just know in advance that I go on tangents sometimes, and if I start talking about a topic you don't like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like I go on tangents. We call them side quests around here because I'm a dorky gamer.
Was talking about. I've been doing some thinking on it, and I think whenever you think about their state of mind, one of the reasons why they're like so angry right now, why they're so upset and wanting revenge, is because this is them seeing like consequences for their actions politically, and to them politics isn't supposed to be that, right? Like
I totally disagree. I don't think they view themselves as having done anything bad at all. I think that's the bigger problem.
No. Consequences not as in consequences of them doing something bad. Consequences is just like there being actual tangible response to their politics. They're used to saying we're going to do whatever we want politically and nothing comes back on us, right?
Oh,
we can close the border. We can
I
do all
agree
these
with
things.
that 1,000,000,000,000%. Yes. Yeah.
Right. And so what's happening is we're seeing them say, no, guys, you don't understand. Politics is supposed to be a game. This isn't supposed to matter. You shouldn't kill us because this doesn't matter, guys.
But then these are the same people who walk around with the phrases, the Second Amendment exists to protect us from tyranny so we can fight back, or the blood of democracy, or the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of, the patriot or whatever, like all the, it's like,
And it's, but whenever they say that, that's not political to them. They're not speaking political. They're not making a political statement when they say that. They don't view those as political statements. Not really.
No.
Like Tectone was saying, like white lives matter. That weird
I saw
tweet that he did, right? Yeah. If he seriously confronted him, he'd be like, that's not a political statement. He wouldn't view that as a political statement, right? Because he's talking about what he believes actually impacts his life, and to him, politics doesn't impact his life. And so the one of the reasons.
Holy fuck, dude! How come I didn't think of that? That now they're just starting to notice the things that they practice and preach and things they say actually have a tangible effect on the world. And they're seeing that in real time for the first time, probably. Whoa. Yeah, because Tectone and Asmongold aren't really political people. And then when you ask them to, talk about their politics, they just meme their way out of it because they don't give a fuck about anything. This to them is just a job or just some way to make money or gain retweets or follows or likes on the internet. That's why when Destiny makes the jokes that he does about what happened in Texas during the flood, these people are like, how dare you? This isn't the time. It's like, well, actually, this is the time. People are dying because of the inaction of the Republican fucking constituents and governance that's happening there. People lost their lives because of poor governance. That's it. That's all there is to it. And if you want to use humor to make that position, what did JD Vance say? It's okay to lie as long as you get people talking. It's okay to joke if you get people talking. But they don't actually think politics matter. They think it's all a game. They all think it's just bullshit. They think it's lies, man. Yeah, Miss Mossy, I plan on watching a lot of your stuff if you're cool with it. I liked a lot of it, and I think we need to raise awareness to your channel. I know I'm smaller than you, and I know that we already have a lot of overlap, but if I can get a handful of people to subscribe, I'm going to be as happy as I can to do so. And, keep doing it, man. You fucking slaying it. It's gangsta.
Why they're so mad is they're seeing someone being impacted by the politics and going, I can't believe that.
And you guys already know this, okay? Pixie be everywhere. She's in all communities at all times. I feel like Pixie is multiple people at once, I think. Pixie probably cloned herself, dude. There's no other way, dude. Woo!
That someone's politics could actually impact their life. Meanwhile, whenever Democrats get assassinated, Democrats have that awareness. They understand it. And it's why whenever they got assassinated, there wasn't calls for blood. There was calls for peace.
Sure.
Right? Because Democrats understand that fundamentally already. And then last thing on this as well, whenever we're looking
Who the fuck is talking right now? How do I not know who this man is? You're amazing. Thank you. Same goes for hopping to watch more of your content tonight. Well, okay, just be careful. Some of it's political. Like I said, I go on tangents, and I do I think I watched Ren's response or his Cujo or why the sick boy was taken from the internet. That's like a 2.5 hour video, bro. And it made a lot of people mad. So, hey, just more than one, dude, there has to be more than one Pixie. She's everywhere. She's like a moderator in 8 communities, bro. And yet she can still show up and give me some bullshit every time. She shows up and gives me love all the time. It's like, what's happening, dude? How are you doing this? Are you all over the world so many times, dude? I think Pixie might actually be a Pixie, dude, in real life.
At the way that
she is a force, bro. Omnipotent.
As well, whenever we're looking at the way that God, I'm just trying to think about how to phrase this.
No way, there's only one.
By the way, very restrained on your part to not say something that would get you banned from everything. Because man, I've had to delete so many posts in chat before typing them in. Some of this stuff. Whenever Republicans are out there saying only there's only the violence is coming from the left, It's because they're always trying to connect it to something political, and they're always saying like, "Look, the politics of the left are doing this," but they're always very careful that their violence that they express and that they have is done through some kind of veneer. Well, it's either random or it's just the government is doing it.
Sure.
Right. The
I mean, look
government
at
is
this
doing
person
these
right
things,
now, right? It's supposedly, I don't know how true this is yet, but it's coming out apparently that this person had a trans girlfriend. So this person was raised in Utah, in a largely white state, in a largely, it seems like a very religious Mormon Christian family. His whole family's white. None of that meant anything as much as the trans girlfriend, though, right? Like, how is that the one thing we're picking out? Yeah.
I'm not sure about the trans girlfriend. Was that from Candace Owens? Because I'm not sure.
I don't know how true that is. I've just seen it posted on Twitter today. I don't know 100%.
But yeah, sure. But
I'm just saying that like if he was, imagine if he was raised in a trans family in an LGBT.
Yeah. There's even a Ren song named after you. Just a pixie doing pixie things. Exactly.
Paradise, but
dude.
he had like a white Christian boyfriend, right? Like nobody would be blaming the white. Yeah. So this is why I'm also telling people, like, stop doing this thing. Like Wick kept doing this. Like, don't you understand? You're proving their argument. No, they will find anything or anybody because they're not making a real argument. They're just trying to find anything they can to pin anything on anything. And at the very worst, if they run out of stuff, you don't win. They just don't have the fight. They'll just walk away from it and stop talking about it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they'll invent an argument whenever it suits them. Like, they just invent shit. They pull it out of their ass. There is no genuine attempt to converse or have a conversation or to like pull up facts. They will just invent it. Like when you point out the fact that the guy who tried to assassinate Donald Trump was a Republican, like, no, he wasn't. Okay, well, at least he's registered as a Republican. Doesn't matter. Fake news. Fake news. And you're like, okay. Why am I trying to, like, give a fuck about their argument at that point when they just do whatever the fuck they want? They just lie. They just lie. I don't care. They just lie. Oh, yes, there is heart. I know it. He wrote it especially for me, period, the end. Don't mess with my happy delusions. Exactly.
Right. And yeah, just that, and on that, it's this thing where it's like, and you did a really good job on your WIC panel of saying, like, here are all these different kinds of violence or at least harm that's coming from the right. We don't even have to just say violence. We can say like actual like material harm that's coming from them too. Such like if I was, if my entire family didn't have insurance because of the policies of the Republicans, right, and multiple of them died, that is radicalizing enough that you could see somebody taking violence on it, right? And it's this thing where it's like, a lot of the times Republicans say, well, you can't use, if you're harmed by our policy, you can't actually call that violence. You can't call that harm such that it would radicalize someone. That's not fair. You're not allowed to do that. And it's like, because again, politics is a game. You're supposed to be playing this like a game. You're not supposed to take this into the real world where we have to suffer real consequences.
Did you first come across him as a student on a campus? Is that how you knew him?
My story is actually a bit more complicated than that. I met him when I was...
Wait, why do I know this guy? Wait, have we talked to this guy on Discord? Oh, Jubilee, okay.
Charlie will never advocate for any religion being completely and totally banned. That's never really been something he said. I know for a fact because I've been to every single Turning Point conference, and I've been following Charlie for a long time and a watcher of Charlie's content for a very long time, as well as a personal friend of his. But what we are always talking about are the radical offshoots of this, especially when it comes to those that are willing to go out there and take lives. That's something we completely and totally disagree with, and that is what Charlie's speaking.
Okay, would you guys call out the violence that happened at those two Democratic lawmakers? I think two lawmakers from, what was it? I don't remember what state it was. That they even killed their dog. And they were MAGA, dude. What were they? I guess it's not in this video. I thought it was the first comment. That's crazy.
Each and every time. It's not that he, for instance, we want to take this to a different issue, the transgenderism issue. He's not saying, for instance, some people try to call him a Nazi or say that, he's going to call for transgender people to be rounded up and put into camps. That is not a thing that Charlie would ever call for. He will get...
Okay, but then why is he defending the fact that trans people aren't allowed in the military? Like, what are we doing? I know Stewart be popping up. I know Stewart was like one of the first people, I think, one of the first people to watch My High Ren, I think, or he was up there. You know what I mean?
to the crux of the issue and say transgenderism is a mental illness. He will get to the crux of the issue and say that people with it should seek help, and that, for instance, if you're under
seek help, but not help with a doctor for medication, because that's illegal now, right? In some places.
Yeah. We should not allow doctors to mutilate your body, and that's a perspective.
Oh, mutilate your body. There it is. You know what America is, and you know what America has just found out they are. America is that annoying fucking drunk white girl who thinks that she can walk up to and not only talk shit to any guy she wants, but start slapping and hitting and smacking around any guy she wants, and then at some point she pushes some dude too far, and then he smacks back, and it's like, hey. You can't act unhinged like this. At some point, someone's gonna smack you. And I feel like America has gotten away with this. Every time I hear some fucking retard on the left or the right say, guys, it's just speech, it's just politics, it's just speech. What do you mean it's just speech? It's just politics. Politics is how you rule over other people. Politics is how you instill...
I know you're a real one, William. I don't know about that, bro, but I appreciate that level of confidence. I don't know, man. I'm a man of a lot of self-doubt, buddy. But I hear you guys' messages all the time, and you guys make warm the soul. I can say that much. And years of like self-hatred is going to take a while to unpack. But I'm way more comfortable. I'm way more happy these days. You guys have helped give me a whole new perspective. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's always weird when I go like watch like a Ren adjacent content and I see like the same names pop up in my comments, and I'm like, this is wild. Such a small world, bro.
Like in law or in the country, like your political agenda, the things that you want to dictate to other people's lives. Like this. It's just such a weirdly naive thing to be like, it's just words, it's just politics. Like, it's not. It has impacts on people. You are betraying either the power or privilege that you have in some position by saying that. I'm gonna end up repeating this line a lot over the next 2 months. Like, what is?
And her daughter, all of a sudden came home and said, "I'm a boy." She said, "What?" And the whole assembly line, the conveyor belt, was started to grind. They wanted to give her cross-sex hormones. They wanted to give her testosterone therapy. They wanted to cut off her breasts. They wanted to do all these sorts of things. And these doctors do this without any thought whatsoever. Yeah, sure. Here's the script. Here's the clinic. Go here. Go for surgery. These doctors need to be put in prison quickly. We need to have a Nuremberg-style trial for every gender-affirming clinic doctor. We need it immediately.
Like, I'm sorry, but you're fucking retarded. It's just speech. It's just politics.
He was one of the only people.
He's literally talking about locking people up for doing something that's a personal conversation between them and a doctor. Like, bro, we got mad over the COVID vaccines, right? Like, this is what the Republicans did. They got mad over the COVID vaccines because they said, my body, my choice. Except if you want to choose your gender. Or, okay. Whatever.
I mean, truly one of the only people to go to the president whom he loved. He loved Donald Trump, like personally as well. And I think the president really loved him in a real way. But he was one of the only people to go to the Oval Office and say, sir, I totally understand and think Iran's really bad, but a war with Iran is not, is something that could really hurt our country. I mean, boy, that was an unpopular position. He didn't need to express it. Oh, of course. And he did it again. He didn't have some weird agenda.
Brave? He was part of like Donald Trump's like fucking think group. What are you talking about? He's good friends with Don Jr. The reason why J.D. Vance is Donald Trump's fucking vice president is because of Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk. The man could say whatever the fuck he wanted to Donald Trump as long as he didn't call him an asshole. As long as he kissed the ring, Donald Trump would let him say whatever the fuck he wanted, bro. Why is it that all the conspiracies come from the right? Dude, I can't answer that question. But they're fucking insane, dude. Flat Earthers, right. The QAnon, right. Like, holy fuck, dude.
He wasn't mad at anybody. He was for his country, and he was for doing the right and wise and difficult thing. And he said that. He went to the Oval Office to say that. He took massive abuse from his own donors, which is also something that you don't see people. And he loved his donors. It wasn't a hostile thing, but they had a different view. A lot of them, not all, but a lot. And they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me. And he said, look, I understand your perspective. This is my perspective. And we're going to do what we think is the right thing, the wise thing.
In that way, too, he was the voice of young people. I mean, there are no young people in the country anymore supporting.
Class. I got to head out. But thanks for the entertainment. We'll check out more of your reactions later on. All right. Moss, have yourself a wonderful day. I'll probably do another one of your songs tomorrow. And we'll just keep the train going. And then I know I'll have to do Illest of Our Time before the end of the week because I'll be doing the Dead Wax concert this Saturday. as an actual full-blown video. So that's probably going to be like a 5-hour video, just so everybody knows.
This war and wanting Israel to continue its bombing campaign. That's just the truth. Look at the polls. And he was in touch with them. And even where his own opinion may have differed from...
A lot of conspiracy theories come down to religious stuff or an inability to accept modern life, flat out accept earthers, zealots.
From their opinion, he felt like he owed it to them to bring their message to the sitting president of the United States. I mean, that's what's been snuffed out.
Well, as he has been, unfortunately, but he was one of the very few people I have met who combined a love for everyone involved with.
They believe Earth is flat because Bible says vaguely in some verses. Bible must be taken literally therefore the Earth is flat. I mean, yeah, Claire's pretty correct there. There are, like, I remember when Trump was first releasing the vaccine, you saw a lot of people on the left say they're not taking that goddamn vaccine because Trump made it. And then they flipped the script as soon as Biden got in office. Like, yeah, there's a lot of weak-willed people on both sides of the political aisle for sure. And I'm pretty sure there are some anti-vaxxers in the Democratic side of things for sure. But yeah, dude, it's just weird because I think that it's gonna sound mean, especially if anyone believes in any conspiracies, and I apologize, and I don't like to be that guy. Especially because I don't really like to use the metric of IQ to like determine someone's actual benefit of being intelligent. Mainly because I'm pretty sure I have a low IQ. Anyway, I think the lower your IQ is, the more likely you are to like believe in conspiracies. You got the hippie truthers who tend to be left. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. But people that believe in conspiracy theories are typically people with lower IQs, less education, and they like to think everything is connected. This is like my biggest problem with like the political stratosphere, right? Or the political environment or the political zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it. Because so many of them think down one issue. Young Turks always comes down to the donor class. You know what I mean? Everything Hassan does is, you can't criticize Hassan because he's pro-Palestine. Everything filters through that one optical lens. Everybody does it, dude. It's just, yeah, but you can't get people to buy into that, Stuart, which is part of the, yeah. It's more important how we treat people rather than what they believe in. Exactly. But you can't say that anymore because for some reason, people that are on the right think that they are the only ones that hold on to morality. And they like to sit there and attack the left, saying that the left likes to like morally grandstand. And to be fair, the left has been pretty good at that, you know. Sir, but how often people treat each other is a function of what they believe. Exactly. That's true too. Like I said, I know some Christians that'll take the shirt off their back for a starving man and bring him in and feed them and all that shit. You know, them good people. But also, like, so me and my girlfriend started watching Stranger Things, right? She really likes this show, and I never gave a fuck about it because I don't usually watch TV. And I had an issue in the very first episode. Like, my favorite guy got shot in the dome, you know what I'm saying? Because he was being kind and helping a girl that was, like, lost and scared and fed her, and then he called Child Protective Services. And then, like, all that does is show, like, subtly that being a good guy has no benefit. And we see this in media all the time. The good guy is the one that gets blasted, you know what I mean? And then, like, in the very next episode, the cute redheaded girl with the glasses that is adorable, like, got eaten alive while she was being abandoned by her friends. Like, what the fuck, man? More people identify as having no faith here in the UK. The US is much more religious. Fuck yeah, it is, dude. And yet these shows are like, they make victims of those that try to do good. And we have so many films and movies that do the same thing. And it's like, what are we doing? Are we trying to tell people to stay in their own isolated bubble and not be kind to one another? Like, why can't the people that die be the people that were subhuman assholes that might have ultimately deserved it? Nope, sorry. It's just easy. It's harder to write that, so we're not going to add that into the story. Like, fuck, bro. Come on. Now, it's okay for good people to have hard times or die. It does happen, you know what I mean? But, like, it's like some layer of propaganda to some extent. Like, had that guy not been a good person, he'd be alive today. Fuck, what kind of message are we sending to people? What are we doing? Like, all these messages matter, even if it's just like a sub-character background thing. What are we doing? Unless that's the point, unless you're trying to say being a good person can get you killed, but then why are we going to be like, oh no, why are people not good anymore? Oh, I can't figure out why. Fuck, man. All in the effort to be realistic. Bro, these things are not meant to be realistic. They're escapes from reality, escape from politics, escape from the mundane. We can have like romanticized versions of life in film and movies that we can always lift up those that are suffering versus using them as like the sacrificial lamb. Fuck, man.
People I have met who combined a...
If bad things only happen to bad people, what kind of plot is that? It's not Sesame Street. We're supposed to be upset. So I understand what you're saying, but there just seems to be a massive amount of good people suffering in films. And then what we do is we try to humanize villains more and more on anything. Like Arcane is a good example of that. Arcane try to humanize, like, the amount of people whose favorite character in Arcane is Silco and Jinx is a problem. Despite those characters being awesome and well written. Like, and then in the next season, everyone's favorite character was Victor, a guy whose entire thing was like, I'm gonna take away free will. Like, in an attempt to sell more stuff, we pursue things that make the world a worse place. There's a line in Arcane that I love wholeheartedly. In the attempt to do great, we failed to do good. We don't need to tell like cookie cutter stories where the good guy always wins, but we have so much media that shows the good guy as being fucking lesser than. Like, we had that in League of Legends as the game. The game of League of Legends initially had like 4 kingdoms. You had Demacia, Noxus, Freljord, and Shurima. And of these ones, Demacia was seen as the good guys. But in a way to mix up the meta and the world, they went in and made Demacians racist. And then they made Noxans much more like not cartoony villains. But by doing that, you see people that are from like Sweden or the UK come out and defend Noxus. And then they come out and just bash Demacia. And they use really shitty arguments to do so. Like, Demacia was a place founded on saving people from magic. Because in real world, in their version of the real world, their world was nearly destroyed by magic. So these people have a real built-in intrinsic fear of magic. So of course Demacia is going to have a harder time with like mages, because mages come with like a level of like authority or control or powers that you can't equate. Like, mages can control your mind in some extents. Like, how are you supposed to put up with that? Gandhi, Martin Luther King, John Lennon all died to make the world a better place. They weren't perfect. Exactly. We're not saying they have to be perfect. Like, I should be able to say that Martin Luther King cheated on his wife. That's okay. He was like, you know, he didn't do everything perfect. But we are sending the wrong messages when we do stuff like that all the time. I'm not saying that it's a zero-sum thing and that we should be able to talk about all of it, but it's lazy writing. You have to create good underdogs and true sense of peril by making the evil side stronger than the off, or there are no stakes. Thank you. I was going to bring up John Lennon. I understand what you guys are saying. I'm just saying that feminism argued against the damsel in distress, and that was a good argument. Women are not so powerless that they cannot defend themselves. And we saw this in the 80s and the 90s, where every movie had a woman that needed to be rescued, the love interest of the man, And Anita Sarkeesian talked about women in the freezer, where they would just kill female characters all the time to give motivation for the male character to go be the hero. Plus, plus also recognizing the heroes of the past will prevent deification of current heroes. To some extent, yeah. But in our attempt to do lazy writing, now I'm not saying Stranger Things has lazy writing. I'm just talking about it as like a motif, right? So far the writing is really good. The pacing is really good. He was killed because he said the Beatles were bigger than Christ. Well, I think he was killed because he broke up the Beatles with Yoko Ono and stuff like that. And then a lot of people blamed Yoko Ono for what happened in breaking up the Beatles, and people are fucking insane. When we do lazy writing and we just say, let's go throw in a guy being nice and kind and then use that as a vehicle for him just to die, I feel like that's moving things in the wrong direction. For instance, current political climate, afraid to mention flaws in Trump, supporters will be afraid to accept any of his flaws or issues. Exactly. No, I agree. Look, I'm not saying there's like this deep conspiracy against like good guys or good people or good women, but I just wish that we would be more careful with what we put out there and think about what ramifications those choices can have. Because all you're doing is teaching people to be more insular. And people are very fucking stupid. That's what his killer okay. No, I apologize then. Never mind. I have not looked into that. I was just going off of the internet, dude. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it should be, well, from what I've read, it actually was the dude pissed off that John was living a rich life while singing about all those things that he's saying about shrugs. That makes sense too. I mean, that's one of my biggest criticisms of Hassan. Like, Hassan is like this fucking like hardcore super tanky, but then begs for donations from his audience, and then like lives in a $3 million home, owns a $10,000 dog, drives a $500,000 car, and then brags about how much money he makes when he goes to parties, when he shouldn't be doing that. What the fuck are we talking about? Why isn't Hassan like creating businesses that are actually socialist, like run like a socialist program? Like he could create a business that does these things. And like, why is his moderators not making a big chunk of his money? Because they're just as much as a part of who he is, right? Isn't that like part of the socialist thing? Why is he making a wealth of the money? He's basically the CEO of the company, and the people that work for him are making fucking pennies compared to him. Like, come on, man. No, nah. Look, my criticisms of things like that are just like, I just wish that it felt more realistic. That like sometimes the bad guys get it too. You know what I mean? Like it's always the kind guy that pulls over to check in on someone that gets blasted, or it just seems lazy to me. But maybe I'm just being a bitch.
Like a love for everyone involved with strong views. So again, he was not animated by anything creepy or weird. I mean, you knew him intimately, so you know this is true. If you talk to him off camera, he would say, I love whoever I'm talking about, but I think this is wrong. It's immoral. It's bad for everybody involved, both sides. And he would say that, and he could say that because it was sincere. It was completely sincere. But I cannot overstate the amount of...
You don't get to dictate he can say that because he was sincere. What are you fucking talking about? That is up to everybody. And you are not one of the people he's criticizing. You're one of the people defending him. You don't get to make that claim. The people he's criticizing get to make the claim whether or not they feel he's sincere. Who the fuck are you, you absolute dipshit, who cost your company $700 million because you were spreading fake information about the electorate? There are text messages of you that leaked about how you hate Donald Trump. You are an actor, sir. You are an absolute piece of shit. And how are you going to sit here, Megyn Kelly, and defend the guy that calls you lesser than because you have periods on a debate stage? You fucking subhuman piece of shit. Jesus Christ.
Of attacks he took privately over this, like absolutely for real. And having lived in Washington most of my life and seeing people run nonprofits.
Did you guys ever see, just remember Tucker Carlson defended his fake news by saying that nobody should take him seriously? Did you guys ever see, I cannot remember the physicist's name, but anyway, Piers Morgan, the dog shit person that he is, had a debate panel with Eric Weinstein, a person whom I used to respect until I realized he was fucking fake. He's admitted that he spews nonsense and Fox takes nothing seriously. All to grift boomers watching Fox. Exactly, dude. Doesn't believe anything the shit he fucking says. He's a goddamn fucking hack fuck. But Pierce Morgan had Eric Weinstein on, and I think a guy named Steven something. I can't remember. He's the leading physicist right now in the realm of physics. Okay, I can't remember his fucking name. And in their debate, the physicist read out the intro page to Eric Foreman's Dr. House. No, Eric Weinstein. His actual theory of everything, where he's like sucking the dick of string theory to a point where he thinks he's cracked the universe. Again, looking through one lens of information, and everything boils down to this one point. And in the very first page, it says, this is not a scientific paper. This is for entertainment purposes. Okay, these are Eric's own fucking words on his own fucking work. And the physicist read it out loud to Eric, and Eric says, how dare you? How dare you? Doing the Trump playbook, repeating the things Trump says, they're going to hold it against you. Like when Biden said he was making fun of Donald Trump about the airplanes thing, everyone said, how the fuck is Biden talking about the Revolutionary War and the airports? He's unhinged. He's off his rocker. He can't think straight. He isn't equipped to be our president. And then you like look through the clips and he's making fun of Donald Trump, who said that. And then everyone's like, oh, it's cool. Trump messed up. He shouldn't have said that. Excuse me, if you're going to say that Donald Trump is allowed to be president when he's the one, the source, the creator of the information, and then you have Biden who's mocking him, and then you're going to hold Biden responsible for that when it shows more cognitive capability to understand that Trump was being idiotic with his statement, and say that Biden isn't allowed to be president, but Trump is. What the fuck world do we live in? I keep hoping that one day I wake up and it's all a fucking ridiculous dream. I tried not to say the R word there. That was really hard. I had to change mid-er sound. You know what I mean? Like, holy fuck. But there's no way this is reality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up looking to adults as wise people. And now that I am one, I'm starting to see that all of these people are fucking morons.
Privately over this, like absolutely for real. And having lived in Washington most of my life and seen people run nonprofits, I've never met.
I don't get the climate change denying stuff and hating green energy. Even if global warming is fake, we can save oil, etc. for later when it's more valuable. Yeah. I remember I saw a guy on TikTok like 3 years ago. Nothing sticks to convicted felon Trump. I know, dude. He's just grabbing women by the pussy. No one gives a shit. I went back and re-listened to that the other day to see how bad it was, and I can't believe I wasn't up in arms more about that. I remember seeing on TikTok one time, and it was like the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is like, everything is a zero-sum game because people are so fucking dense. They were saying because windmills, like these things that actually like generate power from wind, a free resource that the world, you know, produces on its own, because these windmills have oil on them, well, obviously that means that like no one cares about renewable energies. And it's like, are you that dense that you don't understand the difference? Plus, solar lets you own your own means of productive energy, free of big companies. It's very patriotic. He told the reporter the other day that he was going to tell the leaders of their country that the reporter are a bad person. The leader's not going to like that very much. Like what the fuck? Because he didn't like the question? Yeah, he does this shit all the time. If he doesn't like your question, he calls you fucking evil and vile. It's crazy. Or he'll say that you are a part of the failing New York Times or the failing CNN, and it's fucking ridiculous. But like seeing this guy say, well, just because these windmills use oil for like, you know, the motors and engines that are inside them means that it's bullshit and hypocrisy that they want us not to use oil. It's like, well, one, there's a difference between one machine using oil to perpetuate or to grow and make energy for more people to use than a guy driving down the street to go pick up a 12-pack for beer. Those are two different things. One of them is a massive reduction in the amount of oil being used. And that massive reduction can have a massive benefit to the economy, and more importantly, a massive benefit to, cleaner energy. Like, even if it only was like 10% of an improvement, that is still definitionally an improvement. What the... Anyway, these people are unserious, and they always have been, and it's ridiculous to state otherwise these days.
That one who was willing, stand up is too strong. He wasn't confrontational, but he would just say, no, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I think this is the right thing. The people we represent, which is mostly young people, they believe this, and I believe it also. It was brave, but loving at the same time. And I'm not sure he made a lot of headway, by the way. I mean, I think he made real enemies in doing that, but his view didn't change. Anyway.
He didn't make the headway? The fuck do you mean? Charlie Kirk was super effective. Even if it's all bullshit, we should reduce oil consumption now and then sell oil later when it's less available. Yeah, sure, exactly. There's nothing wrong with trying to move to alternative means of electricity and power. Now, we could have a conversation about nuclear power. I'm a nuclear bro. I think that we should do that, especially as long as we can put strong safety measures in place. Nuclear is scary, but we're getting way better with it every year. But people are scared. Though if Homer Simpson was the person running my nuclear plant or the safety department of it...
We haven't felt like ourselves since Barack Obama.
Oh, no.
We haven't felt like ourselves since Barack Obama? What are you fucking talking about? There are millions of green jobs that could be created if only ideology didn't get in the way. I'm against nuclear because we don't have enough uranium. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect, but like all of these can be better. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we can we produce uranium now? I thought there was another thing that came out. I was watching someone talk about it like a year ago about how, I don't know if it's uranium, but look, I'm not. We've switched our current power demands nuclear. We'd only have 30 years of supply. Breeder reactors would extend that, but cost more. Okay, look, you sound like you know a lot more about that. I'm not going to jump into something that I'm not 100% sure on. I will tip my hat to you, my sir. I'm just saying, we have other alternative means to create energy outside of just burning coal. But one of the dangerous things is, Scotland is the whole reason that Trump hates windmills, because he feels the windmills spin the view from one of his golf courses here. More than 50% of Scottish energy comes from the wind. Okay, so yeah, I think that was the one. I don't know how to say that word, so I'm not going to try. But it would be, the cost would be, okay, yeah, I got you. My apologies.
No, not beating the allegations. Oh, man, that the black president was the brain break for these guys.
We don't feel like ourselves. We haven't felt like ourselves in a while. And I'm sorry to get political, but I'm just going to be honest. We haven't felt like ourselves since Barack Obama. I just think he was such a slick snake. You know, he was...
What the fuck? How do they do this? How do they do this? How do they get away with this? Look, I will say that Obama did do one thing that I wasn't really fucking fancy with in the culture climate. In his second term, he started lifting up black communities, which I think is cool. But like, I could see how a bunch of white dudes would get all butthurt about that. But bro, white people have thrived for so long in this country. It's okay when another group of people get a few moments in the sun. It's okay. We can share the spotlight, dude. Holy fuck. Oh, this is so dumb. These people are so stupid.
This affable guy.
So yeah, nuclear is an option, but solar, wind, and batteries are continuing to drop in prices. Nuclear options cannot compete in terms of pricing, but would be good as a secondary energy source. Hell yeah, brother. I mean, I have solar installed on my van. And dude, I only have like either it's 200 or it's 400 watts of solar, and that's enough to run my computer. That's enough to run my CPAP machine. That's enough to run charging my phone and to run a fan that I cut a hole in the roof, and me and a buddy installed one of those fans in there. That's enough to run all of that continually. And I installed all this stuff 2 years ago, and it's still working perfectly fine. The batteries haven't aged out. They're getting a little close, so I might have to replace those. But I have 4 deep cycle batteries that are about 900 cranking amps in a, like, it is for the price of a couple $100. I've made infinite energy from the power of the sun. I could even probably convert my van right now into like I could probably grow weed in that bitch. You know what I mean? Ugh, I loathe when I do that.
Who was like wearing good suits and looked the part and sounded the part and dressed the part, but was so divisive in his messaging. The left, they look at you like when you say this, they don't know what you're talking about.
Explain to me what you're talking about. What divisive thing did he say? Please. Give me a clip montage. I wish we could put GIFs in here, Teehee. Is that an option? Is that something I could turn on?
It's like, because you don't pay attention to the other.
We don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you give me an example of this? What are the ultra divisive messages that were coming out of Obama's
Our top
White House?
political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term.
In his messaging, the left, they look at you like when you say this, they don't know what you're.
The government is trying to get people to switch from gas boilers to heat pumps by offering subsidies. Google alien facehugger CPAP mask. Oh God. Wore a suit and asked for a fancy mustard. He said CPAP facehugger. Oh my God, I need to get this. I have heat pumps and use Inflation Reduction Act. Legit worth it. That's gangster. I would never wear that. Those are the only scary part of aliens is these little fuckers. So no, but fucking spooky.
What you're talking about.
Yeah, tell us how
It's
horrible
like,
Obama
because you don't
was.
pay attention to the other half of the country.
Tell us.
You only pay attention to your absurd news sources, which spin and spin and spin to
True.
protect Democrats, especially if they're named Obama.
Oh, true.
He's the one who started to inject race where no one had been doing it.
Oh my God. So I predicted that's where she was going to go. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm starting to think I'm a fucking future seer, dude. I'm going to go buy what are they called? Tail cards? I don't even remember. I'm going to go buy the fucking cards that tell futures, and I'm going to make a fucking $1 million telling people what's going to happen in their life, bro. Doesn't even have to be accurate. It's going to make it feel good. It's going to be my new job. What the fuck is this?
True. Do you remember when we were a post-racial society? When nobody was talking about race in America? That problem had just been completely fixed. And then Obama brought it back, god damn it.
People try... look, I can't even say it. I'm not even gonna... Dude, I have like a mental problem where certain words just fuck me up. William Nostradamus, exactly, dude. Bro, I remember watching Rush Limbaugh talk about race all the time. I remember in 2001 hearing about Muslims all the time. I remember hearing about gays all the time. Fuck you, okay? Right as she says, look at her eyes in that pause, you know she's about to lie. What the fuck is this, dude? There's no way this is reality. This cannot be real. I might just go back to playing video games full time. There's no way. There's no way. Like, I can't believe I wanted to get into politics, dude. I like debates. Wasn't it Fox News that specifically had a black crimes? Yeah, bro, I swear to God they did. Holy fuck, dude. Obama, the first black president, is the one. I remember when he was running for president, people came out and said, we can't trust that Muslim fuck. We can't, black people aren't equipped to have these conversations. They're the same people that talked about Kamala Harris saying that she's a DEI hire and she switches her race whenever the fuck she wants. It could have been Breitbart. Breitbart was like even way more disgusting than Fox News. Holy fuck.
He's the one who started to use his...
Who also was made by Steve Bannon, who was also one of the lead fucking campaign designers for Trump, who Trump would later pardon later on. Who also runs a YouTube channel now with millions of subscribers. And what party is the one that flies the Confederate flag? What party is the party that, like, when a woman calls a young black child at a playground the N-word, donates $1 million to her? Yeah, it runs all about encouraging people to have a mass debate. Exactly. It was Breitbart confirmed, the news agency Trump's cozied up with. Yeah, and then now he ended up, yeah, dude. Holy fuck, but clearly it was Obama that made it a race. Fuck yeah, dude. There's no way, dude. There's no way that Megyn Kelly, someone who was literally treated like shit by the Trump administration, is going to sit here and run this level of defense and blame everything on the black man.
His pen in the phone to shove things down our throat that we didn't want. He's the one who shoved through an entire things down our throat to use his pen in the phone to shove...
Use his pen in the phone? What is he saying? Or what is she saying? What is that?
One who started to use his pen in the phone to shove things down our throat that we didn't want. He's the one who shoved through an entitlement on our health care and our personal doctor visits that he...
Did you guys not force him to do that? Like, they shut down the government twice because of fucking Obamacare. And then they had to put in certain levels into it in order for Republicans to sign it into law. Like, what? They never take responsibility, bro. It's crazy. It's everyone else's fault, man. They're always the victim. They're always the victims. Ugh.
Promised he wouldn't mess with, and then he did, really hurting people, causing mass...
He gave 16 million people health care. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. Holy fuck. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. That was a sexism. You dumb asshole. There we go. We're going to use a gender neutral word, even though I call everyone bitch. But this time, we're going to adjust ourselves. What the fuck?
Of anger and open lies. He never missed an opportunity to twist the knife on the racial issue. He would do it subtly and in his own way, but it was very clear what he was doing. He never...
Why would okay, let's just say she's telling the truth, okay? Let's say everything she just said was fact. It's not, but let's say it was, okay? Why would a black man... I hear inability to pay medical bills is the biggest cause of bankruptcy. It is. You hurt people by reducing the yearly claiming insurance rates and stopping insurance companies from denying based on pre-existing conditions. Yeah, all the stuff that Donald Trump takes credit for today, by the way. Let's say everything she said is true, okay? Why would a black man in America, a country who used to own fucking slaves, and we didn't go into the civil rights movement, okay, until like the 50s to the 70s? You know what I mean? Like, we put a man on the moon before we had black people playing sports in Mississippi, okay? Why would a black man raised in an environment such as this, who lived through redlining policies, listening to people for fucking years, bastardize black communities? Hell, even at one point, fucking Biden did it when he was in a senator or some shit, and he passed a certain bill, and he called, he wouldn't want his kids going to school. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things were terrible. All of these things happened. Why would a black man that lived through so many of these things and could feel the actual ramifications of slavery in real time and probably faced numerous levels of prejudice while becoming a senator and building up his life, within DC and working against the glass ceiling that could have been holding him back, right? Why is it that a black man in all of these situations and circumstances might be willing to talk about race to some degree? when he was the first black president, and he was living proof that our country can do good things no matter your fucking race. Why would he talk about such things? Maybe so he can motivate young black men to do something similar, to not fucking completely point the finger and say that they're a victim and that if they work hard, they can accomplish the same fucking thing. Why? Maybe race matters to this guy because it's been told to him his entire life that it might matter. So even if everything you said is true, there's nothing wrong with talking about these things. And if that's the case, right? If all of these things are true, why is it that white people feel threatened by that? I don't feel threatened by that. I don't mind that there's a black president. I don't mind that it's the black president that wants to speak directly to not only all of America, but also the people that might share the same skin tone as him, that might have gone through some of the same hardships that he's gone through, that he might want to try to eradicate from our existence as a country because, like, no people should suffer through these things. Why is that a bad thing? I don't mind. I wish more and more people, especially people that make it in the black community, come out and say beautiful messages about things that we can do to make our world a better place. That's fucking fine. Even if he wants to let's say he did do all these things and he still wanted to complain about victim ideology. Are we going to say people like Obama are a great role model? Exactly, dude. Are we going to say people that have suffered through injustice aren't allowed to talk about the injustice they suffered through? If that's the case, then why do you let Trump run his fucking mouth nonstop about, they're coming after me while I'm trying to defend you? If you're going to make it to where people can't talk about that shit, yep, married only once, minimal drama, exactly, dude. Why is it that we apply a different standard to Obama that we would apply on fucking Trump? It's probably because you don't believe in any of the shit you're actually saying. You're just using this as a political talking point to gain favor with your base. Keep doing it, lady. His wife is a lawyer. They are a power couple. Yeah, dude. And Michelle Obama's a gangsta-ass lady. Now, I don't always agree with her. Like, when they go high, we go, or when they go low, we go high. Sometimes I think you need to get down in the mud and wrestle with the motherfuckers and show just how crazy they are. But Michelle Obama's a gangster. How many people today talk about how Michelle Obama's actually a man and Barry was a woman and he had a dick installed? So like, what are we doing, dude?
For the first time, we had a president who weighed in on legal cases before they'd played out. We never did that. That was a
Wow, weighed in on legal. Wow, that would be a horrible.
Weighed on legal cases while the president of the United States today has Bitcoin that he's using to fucking talk to foreign investors that isn't being investigated or looked over at, and who's also currently suing people right now in real time. The president of the United fucking States is what this is exactly what they always do. People say that she's a man. I don't care. I am a man. God damn it, bro.
We never did that. That was a
Wow, weighed in on legal. Wow, that would be horrible to do that.
Taboo that had never been crossed before him. And Donald Trump was the reason Barack Obama.
Barack Obama was the reason.
Barack Obama was the reason Donald Trump came about. That he was born as a political.
Oh, because Barack Obama made a joke about fucking Trump one time during a fucking dinner where he says that, oh, Trump will never be president. While Trump was actively attacking him in the media because Barack Obama wouldn't fucking play ball with Trump's corruption. Because Trump was used to buying politicians. Fuck you. Donald Trump is the one who brought divisive rhetoric into this goddamn country. More so than any other politician. Now people just copy what Donald Trump does and is dangerous because of that. How many legal cases are there against Trump? I think there are a few from like the judges and stuff because he's breaking constitutional law. A case by it itself is not necessarily a bad thing. Trump was a key part of the bribes, birther. Yeah, dude, he fucking started that. That was his starts in the political campaign. He came out and said that Obama wasn't allowed to be president because he wasn't born in America. He's a Muslim. Yep.
political figure.
She's doing the thing, right? You say she's doing the thing where she's saying, this is what causes people to be unhinged, but she's unhinged, right?
Meanwhile, Republicans were trying to get Mitt Romney into office, and he was born in Canada. That one I don't know. I'm not going to agree to that. But what I will say is, I don't even hate Mitt Romney. I did during the time, because he used to do this thing, what's it called? Where he'd go buy a business, he would sell off all of the assets, and then bankrupt the business and get everyone fired. And then he would rake in money on the back end. Obama equals not allowed to be president. Romney equals okay. I wonder what the difference is. Yeah, dude, it was just skin color and political alignment. That's all it is. Obama was a communist, don't you know? We are currently a communist country because Obama was communist. Ted Cruz, sorry. And dude, Romney was even gangster. Look, dude, I'm not a big fan of BLM, okay? But that's only because I had a pre-existing relationship with BLM before asset stripping. Yeah, I think that's the technical term. I'm not a fan of BLM because I had my own history with BLM, I think from 2016 before they, became George Floyd and all that shit. Okay, so and I saw this on the college campuses. I saw a lot of these people advocating for actual death to a professor. I can't remember all the details about it, but I remember I didn't like the BLM movement. I already thought they were dangerous. But respect is due. Mitt Romney, even though he's a Republican, came out and defended BLM, and he marched with them because at the end of the day, stopping racism shouldn't come down party lines. Stopping racism or cops killing people, no matter what your stance on what happened that day, whether he was doing what he was trained to do, doesn't matter. Cops killing people by accident, even if the guy was on drugs, who gives a fuck it doesn't matter. Cops killing people on camera is not good, okay? So we should be able to march for that. There was a time where Bill O'Reilly was having a conversation with Bill Maher, and Bill O'Reilly said, you know what, I agree with global warming. Not because I think that all the wacky science is correct, but we could always have a cleaner planet. A cleaner planet's better for everybody. What happened to that Republican Party? Yeah, saying one of these lives doesn't mean the other life. Exactly, dude. Well, yeah, and I was never one of the whole white lives matter too guys, or blue lives matter. You know what I mean? Being a cop is very hard. When I'm asked to donate to change to feed hungry children, I don't start shouting, what about the dolphins? Yeah, we could do two things at one time, bro. Holy fuck.
That she's doing that thing where she's like, this is why some people lose their minds. Excuse me, this is why you've lost your mind. Why are you presenting this like you're some detached third party?
They say Trump's divisive. He was the antidote. He was the answer to the divisiveness of Barack Obama. And we just haven't felt like ourselves for years now.
I need a gun. I need to shoot myself in the fucking face, right? What the fuck did she just say? Donald Trump was the antidote? There's still a lot of racism in football / soccer. That one, I can't speak to that, bro.